everybody have a chance to read it again?
Yeah.
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes, do I have a motion to accept? If there's any corrections or deletions?
Make a motion to accept.
Have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, unfinished business. Updates on our policy committee. Here, I'll go with that. Kenny, radio communications.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that for now based on some stuff that's happening. I'm going to look at the towers, there's some kind of effects and stuff I'm working on possibly. I'm just going to review.
Next one,
Place that on hold for next week.
radio system update.
I passed out 2 maps. One is a 5-site map, and one is a 6-site map. A couple of big changes in here. Our hope is to do away with the Ruby Road site. We get a lot of interference from that site. It's just not good. I can try here.
He just printed it out.
Sorry. One of the other big changes is adding a monopole in Pine Ridge at the fire station. We feel like that's going to help with the Ashland Road area. The land, where it says new landfill, that's because we want to raise that tower another 100 foot. So, or we want to go as high as we can. It may end up being over 100 foot. Pocket Road, there's already a tower there that we're looking to get some space on. Buck Reynolds will be a new tower, and if you look on the 6th site map, where Lee State Park is now, we want to continue to use that. The coverage does obviously increase with that 6th tower, and that's because right now it's forced to go towards Darlington County. It actually sits right outside of Darlington County and is forced at an angle towards Darlington County, not the way it's designed to work. It's designed to work in a full 360. So this is what the radio company has proposed. We were working on setting up another meeting with them. We're actually trying to meet with the engineer to sit down who runs these maps and just give him different locations and make him run maps. Start over, see what works and what doesn't work. Questions?
That's a lot of,
It's just a straight pole with some guidelines coming off of it. Takes up like quarter of the area that an actual tower takes up, and none of the restrictions that a tower has.
Who wants to put that pole in? Fire department?
Yep. A lot behind the fire station.
So these are being tested with an Apex 6000, which is equipment we don't have.
Yep. So that was brought up, but this is run with the most interference that they can put into their system. So we still should be very well off.
And who's paying for this? And how much does it cost?
Cost, we don't know yet. It's gonna be split between us, EOC funds, and 911 funds is the plan right now. So it's gonna be a joint effort between all of us.
So it's gotta be better than what we got now.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So why is so much money being put into VHF?
Because the fire department is the largest user of the radio system, obviously. We can't afford to do an 800, we can't even afford to use the fees for an 800 system. I mean, that's what we'd like to have, realistically, it's just not gonna happen. Not anytime soon, anyway.
You still run into interference issues even on the 800 side too, don't you?
You do, but your transmissions, when they're there, are clear. And the user fees are there because you don't have to maintenance the towers. You don't have to own the towers. You don't have to, if a problem comes up, it's not the county's problem. So the user fees you pay over time instead of in lump sums with better equipment.
Maintenance fees you
The only
pay.
problem I found with the 800, I think it was back there in Matthew, we lost the 800s.
800 did go
We're
down
still,
for a
we're
short
still
time.
gonna have problems on the river. We're still gonna have problems in areas of the county. All right? I mean, this is a good solution, but we're still putting more money into a system that currently doesn't work well.
Well, and the flip side of this is, even if we magically found $10 million to go to an 800 system, we'd still have to have a VHF system to work.
I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades, they've got to be done regardless. I mean, we don't have a choice. The system should have been upgraded way before anybody sitting in this room was here.
this is, have they gone back and looked at the original plan that they were doing with the previous chief and the previous administrator when they put up, some changes were made? You know, if they've gone back and redid the original plan?
I can ask, that's the first I've heard of it.
And I think that was on some of the original maps. They had I was told they had a pretty good plan to get the good coverage like we needed. And I don't remember what all that involved, but it was, you check the data, I'm sure. Let's find out how close this is to the original plan that they proposed before anything was done.
What are they thinking about putting satellites in some of the stations for radio?
I don't know, there's been so much jargon back and forth. I know there was,
But technology changes so fast.
there was a plan put out there at one time.
If it was over 5 or 6 years old, it's obsolete.
And this may be it, I don't know, it may be based on the same story.
Any other questions on the towers? Any other old business? Let's remember. Now, we can go over new business.
All right, y'all have two separate schedules in front of you. We need to, it's up to you guys which one you do. It doesn't matter to me either way. One's every month like we're doing currently, and one's every other month. Like I said, it's completely up to you guys. It doesn't matter to me either way.
Rick and I talked about this some earlier. It's not like we can't, if we have an emergency, we can't call a special meeting.
Need a motion?
Yeah, that has to
I'll
be
make a
voted.
motion, we go to the every other month schedule, right? Doesn't work out, we can meet and change it, or if we need to recall separate.
Yeah, and once these, if this is what we decide, once it's published, I mean, we'll have to go on the even months and just call a special meeting and notify the meeting, no problem, I mean.
I have a motion that we go with the every other month. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Not, we'll go every other month, starting at the first of the year. Pay incentive, well,
All right, at our last meeting, or one of the meetings, we talked about doing some stuff, and I'd ask if y'all minded if I look at the pay incentive and brought some stuff back for us to look at. So, this is not in a procedure form, this is just some ideas, proposals, thoughts. Something I'd like to see us consider, take a hard look at. It's gonna be a lot of stuff's gonna be different than what we're doing now, so don't let it shock you too bad. Copy. I'm gonna read, I will actually go over this, so I'm not gonna look like Kenny or a kid, but something to talk about it. All right, like I said, this is just a proposal. These proposed changes to the volunteer pay incentive are being submitted to the DCFD Fire Board for review and possible revision to ensure that the volunteer pay incentive is fairly, efficiently, and effectively benefiting our volunteer firefighters with DCFD. As we currently operate, the pay incentive is a limited reimbursement to the volunteers for their expenses, compensating each member less the more calls they respond to, rather than actually giving them an incentive to participate. I propose the following changes. Change from the calculated system with equal decreasing compensation to all members that we use now to a rate per call system with compensation increasing the training, rank, and responsibility. Compensate for the following if minimum requirements are met. Of course, our fire calls, one business meeting per month, which we don't do now, one training meeting per month, which we don't do now, fire board meeting, which we don't do now, for compensation. That would be either the chief or his designee. We do station standbys, whether it's a fire, emergency, weather, anything that's requested by headquarters. One call initially per member, then one call for every additional 3 hours on standby. And y'all stop me if you want to discuss it later, when I come back from the back. If some of this sounds way out left field. Station coverage for full-time staff when absent. This is since we got the guys working now and working shifts. If somebody was going to be out, maybe you could call some of us in to fill those spots, based on your qualifications and all that type of stuff. If so, that would be one call for every 3 hours at the regular rate. Could cover without hiring part-time members possibly or paying extra overtime, etc. And that's all potential. That would be stuff that would have to be looked at. But while I was covering up here, I put it in there for us to discuss. Or at least you have it on the table. And by doing that, we could actually do some type of sign-up for duty and placed in a rotation so the same person not getting it every time. We go down that list, and say if Justin did it Monday and then Tuesday you needed somebody, you go down the list and come back to Justin, and you could get it again, but everybody gets a fair share. And that way nobody's getting the head of the game. Fire prevention, one call per activity, which I think we pay for fire prevention now, people that do it. District trainings, one call per meeting. Anything that's required, meetings or training, a bloodborne pathogen fit test, rail worker cert, anything that's going on. That would be a one call per meeting also. And then anything else that the chief would determine if it was necessary for us to achieve. Transition from the current police officer. This is going to sound like we're trying to pad our pocket, but really, I don't think it is. I've been volunteer, I've been paid back on the volunteer side now. It's truly, what's required for people that work and do this stuff, we all know it's getting tough. This is just something to try to give an incentive to compensate you for what you do and hopefully give you that extra initiative to come. If you're doing it, at least there's going to be something in it for you. We're just coming out doing that. So to transition from the current to the new volunteer pay incentive, if we do it. All positions, job description must be current. That means if you're gonna be a captain, we've got to have those guidelines in place, and you have to meet those guidelines to get this incentive. Once we do that, then we pick a start date. I'm trying to think how to make this thing fair, so nobody likes the term grandfather, but I really didn't know what else to list it as. We can grandfather our members in their current position prior to start date, and we want to be fair to the ones that have been in these positions for so long under the current program. All members joining the fire department or DCFD are changing positions after the start date would then follow the new guideline. Requirements, you must meet 51% total as follows. Still 7 of 12 for your business meetings, 7 of 12 for your training meetings. This is a big change, fire board meetings. It's 7 of 12, but we're going to have to change that if we put this in and go into every other month. And that would be your per your chief or his designee for station to qualify. So what that's saying, if the station does not participate as it is right now, out of 7 out of 12, they don't qualify for pay incentives. The whole station, not just that chief. So, like I said, some of this is pretty a lot different. All documents turned in by headquarters to by the 15th of the following month. If not, station does not qualify for that month. Every year they're scrambling trying to get our pay incentive paperwork, everything brought in here and tallied up so we can get our pay incentive. And I know they're going to I just tried to put some more teeth into that too. So if that's not being done, whether it's the chief or whoever's responsible, then that whole station that month, then we don't get credit. And that's going to take something on our part, like I've been doing now. When I fax it, I'll call Whitney and say, hey, did you get I just sent my stuff, can you confirm it? And I make a note, she's got it, I got it, and file it in the book, and when time comes, we should be current. And you still don't probably have some slip through the cracks. I mean, that's just the way it works. But hopefully it'll make us all be better, more accountable for what we're doing. Must be current with your physicals, bloodborne pathogen training, fit test, other annual requirements. Now, this is the incentive compensation scheme. I ran into a bunch of different numbers. If you start too low with your support people, it's just, you don't want to cut them out, and then when you move it up, it's just going to make everybody go up. So this is what I came up with. For a support person, you would pay a flat rate of $10 per call. If you're an engineer or medically qualified, it would be $12 per call. Firefighter 1 would be 14, firefighter 2 would be 16, lieutenant would be 18, captain would be 20, assistant chief 22, and station chief would be 24. It's just a $2 increase for every level that you move up. This scale would directly correlate with the training, duties, and responsibilities required for each position, with compensation increasing as the requirements increase. We all know that. Why would you even want to be one of our chiefs? We got all responsibilities. Everything's on our shoulders. And not just to go sound bad, but we're getting the same across the board as the new person that comes in once they meet their qualifications.
No desire, no incentive to move up.
Like I said, and our incentive is set up right now. As we know, the more we run, the more we respond, the less you make per call. So every time you run a call, you know you're making. We're not in it for the money. That's just how it
We're
works.
not competing for all, whoever's called.
The pros I came up with, each member would then have to be responsible for their own incentive pay with no impact of low or high responsibility by other individuals or other members. What that means, if you have a person that comes in and runs 3 calls, they've run 3 calls, but that affects the people that run 100 calls. It affects their pay. It might be pennies, but it's taken away from those people that are really doing what they're supposed to.
Yeah, a lot of people run this not just support, but they're doing it because of that.
And I didn't tie anything to our calls, because now, if we were to put this in, say you make your business meeting, you make your training meetings. If you're $10, that's that's $140, you're gonna make. If you run 1 call, that's another $10. You run 100 calls, it just does the math. It's not hurting anybody else. The more you do, the more you get credit for it, the more it's gonna benefit you. And long term, the more it's gonna benefit this fire district, because you're gonna be getting more training, you're gonna be in the communications loop, you're gonna be more active. All that stuff's gonna bring, I think it's gonna be a benefit across the board.
Each person sets their own incentive that way, whatever they want to make that year. They don't want to run any calls, they just want to get any pay,
And we can come back and tie calls to it, but that person that runs 6 calls, that might be the 6th call, and there was nobody here.
That's right.
And they could have made the difference. I kind of looked at it both sides.
We'd make the volunteers step up too.
We can come back and sort through that stuff. Let's see here. Remember, incentive offered for most associated DCFD duties and functions. It will be easier to calculate who qualifies and what incentive to be given, instead of going back and doing all this math and everything they have to do now to come up with this number. you plugging it in, and you know, if you're at this level, this is the rate you're gonna get paid. I think it would make it a lot simpler. I think it's gonna also breed some friendly, hopefully friendly competition for positions, for training, et cetera, resulting in all of the DCFD members being better trained and compensated. I think it will definitely increase the accountability for members in officer positions to perform to the best of their ability, resulting in DCFD officers being trained, better trained and compensated also. When you get into the firefighters, nobody, I mean, you do what you do, you're a firefighter. Nobody's gonna knock you out of that position, or nobody's gonna come in and you're gonna be voted out as a firefighter. And once you move up to at least company officer, now there's that chance, that you can be, voted out or whatever. So hopefully, this would give people incentive to do what's required, to get your training, to make your meetings, to be more productive. You could also, I know when I was here, we always kept a little bit of padding out of our volunteer pay on our budget in case there were people that we missed or something happened to offset those errors. I think we could, if we did this right, if we put it in, you could actually use all of those funds, and then you have a contingency. If you did have something that was wrong, or say if we had $75,000 like we do, this year we ran $85,000. This is what we paid out. Have a contingency to go to council and say, hey, we had this happen, we need to move funds from here to here to pay these volunteers. We messed up on the paperwork, or we had way more responses, they ran way more calls this year, which would mean we're out doing our jobs. I think that would be I think it'd be a good thing. That kind of stuff, to go to council would be a good thing to ask for approval of additional funds. So if you have to do it, I think that would be a bad time to do it. I think better compensation and better training should lead to more involvement for all of our volunteers, therefore increasing our call responses as well. The only con that I could come up with, and I found it just quickly, was, like I said, right now, Chief Flowers knew we have $75,000 that we budget, if I think that's what it still is. So he knows we have to make that money fit into that budget. If we changed it, it's going to be that uncertainty of, where it's going to shake out. But if you go back and look, what was I paid this year? So it would take some calculation, but if you go back and look, based on the pay rates I put in there, $10, so you're already going to be below the average that's ever been here. We've never made $10 cost. 24 is going to be above, for the chief. But you look at the number of people that you're going to have, 22 chiefs, probably chief and 6 chief, and you look at your company officers, and your firefighters, you just run all those numbers, and then you can kind of come up with an average of, where we're at now. If we were doing this right now, what would we be paying out?
If you don't do that before you start this, you're not gonna have any idea whatsoever
Right.
it's gonna cost. I think that is something that should be done before we make a decision on it.
This is not for decision or not. This is just to get us all looking forward. You just dissect it, we can talk about it, not making any changes, but I agree 100% that we need some more data.
What would that
statistics.
figure be? Would it be more than 75,000? And if so, how much more? Because if you go to council and say, well, we've been paying them 75,000 a year, and now we want 150, that ship's gonna sink.
I agree.
I could go with the order that you have, honestly. The grandfather process on this, obviously it's fair, but it could also cause problems in the system if somebody who's a captain who does not want to meet the new requirements for the position descriptions could maintain their status for quite some time.
Well, there is a deadline that we're supposed to be meeting, if I'm not mistaken. You have to be trained to that level when that deadline comes, and if not, then that person is no longer holding that position.
Okay, so that should be clear in here, because then those grandfathers would say, oh, I'm fine, I can just drive this out. Also, on that same thing, on your compensation scale, we're holding firefighters to a firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 educational level, but the fire officers are not. So a firefighter has to get at least firefighter 1 or firefighter 2, but you're not requiring a lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, or chief, or fire officer. or any kind of incident command training or anything else. So here we are, we're holding our firefighters accountable for,
That would follow upon a program that got set.
then it
up
shouldn't be
all the time.
stated here, is what I'm
Maybe
getting
we
at.
should
It's either
change,
firefighter.
maybe we should just say firefighter and not lose firefighter, one firefighter, two, let the policies.
Does the policy dictate that instead of, opposed to making an educational level? Unless it made a difference where you said a fireman or firefighter and a senior firefighter, or something along that line. But if we're gonna, call them to here, then that's fine. But if we just revert to the position description on it, that would probably be better.
Good catch.
And then, of course, the last thing is what Chief Garland said, that I would love to run this formula on this year's numbers.
Last year, yeah.
Right. And maybe even the past 2 years, or 3 years.
See what it comes up to.
See what it comes out to, sure. And,
We get 5 years, we get a good cross section.
absolutely, and I think that'll do due diligence on the financial side, because we all know this will benefit the firefighters and everybody who participates in it. But how will it really financially impact?
If you do it 5 years, that'll kind of give you your up years and your down years, and then you can find a happy median, kind of throw that
So
in there.
and the last thing is can we legally do this? There's a lot of Fair Labor Acts. There's a lot of things. You can't pay a volunteer, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, 20% more per hour than you would pay a career person by Fair Standard Labor Act. So, and I know this doesn't say per hour, but we also have to be conscious of that.
Right.
Because nationally, volunteer fire service is on the microscope because of incentive pay. So what point does a
My other question,
fireman becomes a part-time fireman?
along your thought is, it says if the station doesn't turn in their paperwork, then that station doesn't get compensated
That much.
that month. I don't know that you can
Yeah.
take B's pay because A didn't do his job.
Even though it was documented.
It's not taking that pay for that month, it's taking that month out of the equation. so to
Right,
speak.
but however, the fire district is promising pay for time.
Well, you're holding people accountable then, though. That's,
Understand that, but you're also, I understand it comes back to that chief officer who's submitting that paperwork. But there should be checks and balances to that process in case that fire chief is sick, injured, what have you.
and that's when your officer slate as a whole, as a whole, you're holding the whole station accountable. Somebody should step up and make sure it's getting done.
and,
Or maybe that chief don't need to be in that position if it's not getting done.
That's.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but that don't change the law.
So what I
You
put down
can't
here,
take somebody's pay because somebody else didn't do the job.
we need to get a cross section of the past 5 years, we need to have our attorney looking at fair labor standards. Well,
And then how is it tracked? How is it tracked and submitted? Because if it relies on somebody else, we still have to ensure that they're financially compensated. Although there should be some kind of, there should be checks, balances, and deadlines and submittals. But on the other hand, if hours are completed, then they have to be, or calls are completed, then they have to be compensated. So we have to go out and figure all that out.
good. Like I said, this is just an idea to get us talking. Any other comments, questions?
I would like to reiterate that my comments aren't to deter the system.
No, I understand.
I think we should at least financially be
They weren't
aware.
taking that right. So this is just to get us all kind of looking at what we're doing.
Questions, comments?
2 seconds.
Got just a few things here. Where do we stand on our 1% stuff? What's the plan looking like there?
Molly is meeting with me tomorrow, and we should have some balances and some other stuff for you guys.
Submit back to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's in the middle of 5 different recoveries right now with FEMA, so she's pretty inundated.
Yeah, I know we touched on it briefly tonight with the SOPs. I went back through previous fire board meeting, we've been hammering on this thing for 9 months right now. Not getting anywhere. I think it's time for a change or something to move forward. I mean, right now, certain things we don't have a leg to stand on. And also the county training. When are we gonna start back with that stuff?
Probably, we got something planned for February, I think it is.
Okay.
Something that we had planned before the hurricane, and the hurricane, that's us all up. Should have a district training in February, and I think in March, we're gonna go back to the, mutual aid training.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. And something else we kind of started at Station 12 a couple months ago, and I encourage y'all to think about it too. And I'm sure you're familiar with, there's other outside agencies that do it. We started with a firefighter a month. There's no incentive to it other than getting the public spotlight. It has put the morale, let's come way up to 12. There's a little bit of competition there. Everybody's wanting to be the firefighter of the month. So everybody's stepping up and doing a lot more at 12 than they ever have. Something definitely to think about. You showing that person you appreciate them that way too. That's all I've got.
On the page, if y'all heard any more about our rating, where we're at, we're still, looking good on our grading, whatever you call it, 1%, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I lost, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm writing the topic.
Yeah, we're doing exactly what was expected. We're spending the money like they wanted us to. And everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Everybody has really made a 180-degree turnaround on turning their stuff in, bringing receipts, not doing reimbursements unless it's those acceptable items like we had talked about. I was actually going to bring that up later, was how great it's been. I think it's been a pretty smooth process. Y'all tell me, but I think checks are going out quicker than what they were. It seems like things are working the way they were supposed to.
That's all I have.
Well, on 1% is retirement incentive bid.
It's not. We still have to do a survey. We have to get 51% of the vote to see if they want to even explore it. And then we've got to figure out what's going to happen after that. And everything we do is got to see the entire department. So it's not dead. We just, honestly, we haven't had time to work on it. Molly and I have to actually sit down and make a survey for that.
The other thing I had was, I noticed when we had a hurricane, we had outside people coming in and really didn't have good places to sleep. I'm wondering if we could install a camper plug for a hookup at every station. I know that I have a camper, a lot of firemen do. If they came in, they could bring the camper with a plug to hook up.
Could be one with a generator. Everybody.
Station run off the generator.
Hopefully by next year, all of them.
Only that, if you had to, you could rent, lease, or RV or something from Brown's.
But I mean, it would be a good, simple solution for a quick fix to a problem.
If nothing else, somewhere for them to sleep. I mean, even if that's all it is you go in here and sleep and y'all hang out in the meeting room or whatever.
It would give you sleeping quarters.
I'll get some prices and see what we can do about that.
I know there was some talk a while back about first responder training. Is that something that we can pursue?
Sure can.
And
Hang on, Mr. Robert, are you looking for National Registry style first responder or just training?
County level stuff.
the one, and I refer back to the city because I took a class, I think it was 66 hours with
That's National Registry.
It was an extremely good class. It really covered things that we do. And I don't know what the refresher is on it. I'd even take it over again if it was offered. It really gives us a good starting point. I think it's a good class and it's something we should pursue. Another thing I had was talking about morale. I think that we should consider doing a county-wide one Christmas party where we all get together and see and meet and eat and greet and is one big department instead of 16 small departments. I think with the $40 per diem, you could cater it, would be just turnkey deal. Do it here in the Bay or whatever. I just think that, it would bring us together at least once a year as a group.
Even if we done it in January or something, that's still.
Well, you know,
Well, we talked, one thing, we talked years back about doing that, and I think you and I talked about it too, was doing it around, somewhere around fire prevention, just having a countywide banquet, and then we all get together. We talked about using the, National Guard building down here to do it.
It'd be said, we'd have to do something
You
about
get
it.
coverage, you get for all our stations, and then you come in, have a banquet, and each station could get up, do their firefighter, do their awards at that banquet, and then have a countywide, we're gonna do county, whatever, do that, and then eat, greet, socialize, do their awards, and then your Christmas time comes, you just go to the party, and you have a, just go to the party. You're not doing any business, you're not doing anything else.
Just sit down and enjoy yourself.
But I agree 100%, I think it's time to do something.
we need to meet as a group, and I mean a group. And,
I'm thinking most of us don't know a lot of the new ones that we've got out here.
yeah, and that, but it's how you meet, you know, you
Yeah.
see who your neighbor is, so to speak. And, when you eat together, it brings people together, and, I just think it would help with our morale long term. That's not what I got.
Anything from that?
Oh, no, Bennett sent me an agenda, he sent me a copy of the paper proposal that Kenny had, looking over it. And I know he said that he was in line with, you know, wanting to adopt some type of different change or something for some type of pay incentive. And I know y'all will look at the details on that. That's the only thing he told me today. I like a lot of the ideas coming up with, you know, a banquet, meet, Christmas party and stuff like that. And we definitely need to do something with the stations as far as generators and RV drops and stuff like that. And I know it's coming around. It's just it's a long time.
Slow process.
It's hard to get money approved for a lot of stuff like that.
Dan, anything from Fort?
Chief Reed said he spoke with Ricky about a lot of things already. We also like to reiterate, if we're going to move forward with this radio system, I really hope that the county at least would increase the radios that are in the county at better quality or newer radios. Because if, I understand we don't have the money to go to 800, well then let's at least make the best of what we have now. I appreciate the full time for the amount of training they've been putting out. It's good. I think we get, I know getting more is always difficult, but this way, if somebody can at least plan on taking firefighter 1 and firefighter 2, how long would that take? We can get a volunteer path saying that if you come here, and especially if we have a new incentive base, they're really going to want to know how long it's going to take to get firefighter 2. Will they have opportunities then in the rotation to take fire officer and so on? Or is it, they're going to talk to other volunteers that have been here for years and say, well, it's almost impossible to get this class or that class. You know? Can we offer a path for new volunteers to come in? And I think that might be something that would be pretty attractive, that we know that fire 1 happens once a year and so on. That way we can, in the rotation there, it's pretty acceptable. You might have fire 1 and fire officer 1. Fire 2 and fire officer 2, and pump ops 1, you know, and pump ops 2 in that rotation. So then, as you go through the year, the next year around, if you've been due diligent in your training,
You should have everything in 2 years.
you should have it in at least a couple of years, right? You know, not just necessarily they're going to become, you know, 1152 to fire officer 2 and then become a chief, but they would at least have that. If they stay on that path, that's good for them and they get rewarded for it. So. Other than that, we're good. We're good for. We have our Christmas party next week.
Okay.
I don't have anything. I just want to give myself a second.
Cameras at my station. When will we get them hooked up?
Work on that next week, Don, but honestly,
I gotta go behind the wall to get the wire in it. Nobody throw it out. Don't cut my wall too.
If we do both these, no problem.
That's all I got. Any other comments from the stations before we go to the chief's report? Or y'all wanna go back?
I'm gonna add one thing in there real quick here. As chiefs, everybody sitting there stable, the officers we got up under us, we need to make sure they're making the best judgmental calls they can on scenes. Make sure they have that training to be in command at that scene, because we're leaving a lot of scenes unsecure out there. I received a phone call last night and kind of blew out the water. We're not doing our part as officers.
But whenever we get done, we'll have a quick talk.
Anybody got anything else? Now we're gonna go to chief's report.
All right, I'm not gonna go through the chief's report because it's pretty lengthy. It's like a lot. I've got some stuff that I wrote down and I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. The pay incentive that we talked about earlier, just to go back and touch on it, I didn't want to interrupt Stratton while he was going through what he was doing. Pay incentive, people with less than 5 calls, if we would have taken them out of the equation, everybody would have made $21.60 a call. Less than 10 calls would have been $22.20 a call. What you actually got was 15.68. So that's a big difference. However y'all want to take that information. The leftover funds that were in those volunteer services line items, I'd like to take that money and buy t-shirts for everyone who is active. When I say active, I mean going to calls, doing their part. That's up to you guys, because I mean that's
What's the balance?
3,000. Should be a little more than 3,000.
That's the question real quick, Rick.
Sure.
If, proposed policy that Kenny had, if it don't pan out, is there any way we can set a minimum on the call volume that you have to make every year?
That is up to you guys.
Didn't we do a minimum?
There's a minimum percentage to stay on the station.
I mean, if you got somebody that
There's no
shows
minimum
up,
for pay incentive. I've looked through every policy.
showing up at every meeting, but you're not producing on call, you know.
There's no minimum for calls, but like I say, that's completely on you guys. Doesn't affect me either way. I guess, what do y'all think about the t-shirt idea before we, just one basic t-shirt that everybody can wear whenever they go out or whatever? I mean, but I want to reiterate, I only want to do it for the active members. And it's not to take anything away from everybody else, it's the fact that those guys are out doing what they're supposed to, so it's a little bit of a reward.
What design you want to use on it?
Probably the one that the full-time guy's done with the racetrack stuff.
What would be the criteria?
That's my question.
That's a great question.
When you say really active,
Yeah, that's a great question.
because there's some guys who do more than calls, you know, so there's that is that great question.
Yeah,
Unless you just want to leave it up to the chief's discretion.
that's fine with me. If you guys tell me who you got,
Bit easy way to simplify it.
send me a size, send me the person's name.
Now, I think that's that leaves too much open for how come I didn't and you did. There should be a stated criteria, and this is the criteria that you met and you get a shirt.
You just show them the call volume and meetings day. We
How about that
can't
percentage
weaken it
being
down.
the same on the station, because I bet there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, there was. If you made less than 15% of your station's calls, technically you can be taken off the station at the station chief's discretion. We can use that. That'll cut the number of shirts.
I'm good with that. I just think there should be a standard thing instead of saying, well, he's got one
You're right.
criteria, and he's got one criteria, and you know, we should all have the same
So
criteria.
it's 15%'s already in place, let's go with that.
The policy stuff has been brought up again. I would like to, and then once again, this is on you guys, if you don't want this, that's fine, it's not gonna hurt my feelings, it'll take less of a load off of me. I would like to just take the policy stuff and start working on it, and every other meeting, I'll bring back a stack of policies for everybody to look through. I'll email them out as I finish them, you guys can make changes, look at them, whatever, send it back to me, I can make the changes and actually have a presentation. This has been going on for about 3 years now. Well, longer than that, because it's not that I think I can do it better than anybody else, it's that I can go up there, lock the door in my office, and I can get some stuff done.
Well, you got to move forward with it one way or another, that's.
Make a motion, we do that.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Rick, policies are in your hands, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't appoint a board through this, or a committee through this board. I would like to suggest that we make a training committee, composed of 6 people, varying ranks and experience levels, and have them come in, meet probably once a month is what I'm thinking. Come up with training ideas, participation ideas, line up some training, just because you get different aspects. I can get a guy who works shift work like Chuck does, and I can have somebody like David who,
Don't get
Justin, who works the same schedule all the time, and he's parents of a young child, and he's not. I need somebody, I need a group of people to be able to bounce these ideas off of. I may have an idea that I feel like it's okay for a group of volunteers. They may say that's a little too much. We need to back up and look at this again. Like I say, I can't make a committee out of this, but I would definitely strongly suggest that we look at that.
Are you asking the board to make a committee?
I kind of am.
Well, here's the question, is why every month? Can't you plan at least for every quarter?
I
No, I'm just asking.
At least
Yeah.
every other.
would say every month until we get things moving in the direction we're looking for, and then we can back up and say, hey, we're good for the next couple months. Let's back off a little bit. Let's get some things in the works, and then we'll back off.
And then how would you suggest the board to select the members for this committee?
I strongly recommend that it be varying ranks and varying experience levels.
I'm thinking that we probably need to.
Not just all officers.
No.
Not just all officers, but also,
Roll board and-
we also probably need to put somebody full-time on that board, on that committee also.
Once you send it out, ask for volunteers, and then pick those volunteers.
That's up to you guys. If that's,
And when I say volunteers, pay whoever, I'm not saying, I'm just saying people volunteer to be on the
Well,
committee.
you'll know then.
If they volunteer, they got interest in it. And then we can go through and pick different ranks and levels. and-
So I'd like to nominate, or make a motion that, ask Chief Flowers to send out an email looking for a training committee to fill 6 positions of varying ranks. Once he gets his list of interested people,
Bring it back to the board.
bring it back to the board, or he can go ahead and email it out to expedite it. And then I think you can vote electronically or at the next meeting, whichever's first.
Second.
First and second, anybody in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
all right, last thing, the stations will start getting bi-monthly reports of call responses and, rosters of who responded to what. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Roll call, I guess. Thank you.
Attendance record.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, sir. Attendance records, just for y'all's benefit, if nothing else. Put them up on boards, make these guys see it. I mean, if they got to walk by it every day, maybe they'll say, gee, I haven't remembered any calls this month, or last month, whatever. The reason I say bi-monthly is because if we do 1 month, it's going to look pretty slim most of the time. I think bi-monthly is probably a good start. If we see that doesn't work, we can go and do it every month.
I must have been reading your mind when I texted you the other day.
Sounds work.
Sounds like a brat.
Other than what's on the chief's report, that's really all I've got. Sure there wasn't anything like diary, there's no conversation on there. Should. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think your timeline is on your door openers? Because that's becoming.
We are contacting a new door person. I was talking to you earlier. Yeah.
Ours
it's-
are just,
it's-
we have to leave our door open.
Yeah, it's not.
Joe hit door.
Mm-hmm. If it opens.
I don't know, sometimes it always works perfect, sometimes it.
That's the way everybody.
So this is the 15, our old single, the old, big old pager looking thing? you know,
Like
it's
mine.
highway.
Mine
The
won't
new
work.
buttons, you drive up to the door, it will not always.
None of them work at 12.
Man, I have to roll the winter out of my car when I ride by.
I gotta tell Rick, I've still got the one that Bill Hamilton gave me, the old black remote. I've had that
Priority
thing for
figures,
years.
I know you only got 10 in. You got head spoken for. All right, we're good with you.
I think one of the last meetings we had talked about, and I think it was Wiley who mentioned it, he's not here tonight, but, talked about meeting with the school district, try to start a program like what Sherrall has and some other places. We have met with them, we met with them twice now. We don't know if that process is gonna work out. They want some things that really just isn't feasible for us to, for any department in this area to be able to do. So, we're still trying to work through it, so we'll keep working. And I think that should be all I've got. Bloodborne dates are on here, they'll be emailed out again, they'll be active, sent out on active. Please make sure your people know that they have to come. Doesn't matter if they're on 16 different departments, they have to come here. Good, sir.
Is there anything else? Close up the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned. See y'all next month.
Hey,